Hi everybody, this is Allison Larson with Family Foot Reflexology, and today we're going to be talking about goals and vision boards. How many of you feel like you have been able to achieve almost any goal you've set? How many of you feel like you could use a little work or a little direction on helping you obtain the goals that you set? Well, if you feel like you need a little help and direction, you're not alone. If you feel like you've achieved most of your goals, great. This knowledge can just help and add to what you've already got going for you. So we're going to talk today about vision boards and how vision boards can be a tool for achieving goals. Now, I like to think of it this way. Imagine that you're in a city that you've never been to before, and you're going to a destination that you've never been to and never seen, but you've been told about. You can picture it in your mind, right? Now, what if you didn't have MapQuest? How would you get there? How would you find it? Maybe you've even seen a picture of it. How would you know where you were going? It would be really difficult. So having a destination is like your vision board. It's something you create. And goals is like your MapQuest. They're going to help you get to that destination. Now eventually you may find your destination without MapQuest, but it's going to take a lot of time, effort, and energy. And by the time you get there, you may have even forgotten why it is you want to be there. So goals help us to exert less time, effort, and energy to get to our destination where we want to go. But what if you don't know what your destination is, and you're trying to set goals, but you aren't sure where it is you want to go? That doesn't really work. If you can't enter a destination into your MapQuest, how are you going to know where you're going? So a vision board is going to help you get that destination in mind, and then your goals can help get you there with the least amount of time, effort, and energy involved. So I've been a personal trainer since 2007 and have worked in the gym a lot. Every year, especially around January, I see groups of people come in that have set goals. And actually statistics show that very few people end up achieving their goals. Only about 90% set goals and then don't achieve them, and only about 10% end up achieving those goals. And that was pretty true to what I saw in the gym. But what was interesting was it was that same group of people, that same 10% every year that would come in and set goals and achieve them. And so I got thinking, what is it that these people do to achieve their goals? Well, that question was answered as I furthered my education and became a life coach and a Reiki master, and then of course learned many life-changing principles and tools and skills through Family Foot Reflexology. I was able to understand what it is that helped people to be successful when it came to setting goals and creating vision boards. And I'm going to share some of that information that I've gathered with you today so you can be successful at setting your vision board and also reaching your goals. So a couple of things to think about when we're talking about a vision board. What a vision board is it's a place where you put pictures or words or some way, put reminders that invoke an image in your head that help remind you of this image of something it is that you want to create. So why is imagery so important? Well, I'm going to turn to some people that are pretty famous and pretty successful. Chuck Norris, he said, I think setting a goal is getting a visual image of what you want. You've got to see what it is you want to achieve before you can pursue it. Walt Disney, if you dream it, you can do it. Martin Luther King, I dream a dream. What is a dream if not a vision of what you want to have happen? Now, if you'll notice with Martin Luther King, he didn't get up there and say, I have a 12-step program for creating equality in America. No, he said, I dream a dream. He created a picture for people, and thousands of people came out to hear him in August in Washington, D.C., of all places. It's hot and humid, to hear him paint this picture of what he wanted society to be like. And guess what? We're there. Isn't that amazing? Another good example is Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is a wonderful person, and when he was first getting started, he was a struggling actor. He went to a self-help section of the library, and he, from the books he read, decided that every day he was going to drive up into the foothills in California and look down on Hollywood and imagine what it would be like to be successful. And one day, while doing this, he decided to write himself a check. He wrote out a check for $10 million to himself and post-dated it for 5 years from that date. Well, guess what? Almost 5 years to the day later, he signed a movie deal for $10 million. He kept that check in his wallet and would look at it every single day. He created that vision in his head of what he wanted, and he brought that into his life. And he talked about setting conscious and subconscious goals to get there, but having that vision was what really gave him the direction as where to go. So before we can even get started with our vision board, with putting our items on our vision board, we need to figure out our why, what it is that drives us. For Jim Carrey, his why for earning that much money was so that he could really support and help a lot of people, so that he could be influential in society, and he really has achieved that. So if you're part of the practitioner training program, in your Google Docs, you will see a Google Doc that goes along with the vision board sheet. And on that Google Doc, on that document link, you'll see that there are several different items listed on that page: health and fitness, family, friends, home, career, financial, spiritual, for fun, neighborhood and community, and world. And what I want you to do now is get a timer. I want you to set that timer for 20 minutes. When I'm done talking, you're going to pause the video. And you're going to go through this list, and you're going to write 2 sentences under each column to begin with, and then you're going to add a sentence until that 20 minutes is up. Now, what are these sentences? These sentences are creating a vision or a picture of your ideal for these different images. So, for example, when it comes to health and fitness, maybe you write, in present tense, whether you've achieved it or not, I am healthy, fit, and full of energy. I take care of my body by eating good food and exercising regularly. Those are my 2 sentences. So now I'm going to move to family. I am a loving mother and wife who cares for her children. I spend time each day with each member of my family in a one-on-one setting, asking them how their day went and talking to them about any problems, issues, or concerns that they may have. And then I would go on to the next one, which would be friends. When I've gone through the entire list, I'm going to go back up to health and fitness and add one more sentence of a vision that I want to create for myself until the 20 minutes is up. Alright, so go ahead and pause your videos, grab your timers, and spend your 20 minutes now. Alright, hopefully you had time to write or create this vision of what you want in these different areas of your life. Now, why did we do this exercise? These are not things that we're going to necessarily put on our vision board individually, but this is going to give you a good direction, and you're starting to create an image in your mind. Interestingly enough, it was several years ago now, but my husband's in the construction business, and as you know, there was a downturn in the economy several years ago, and we found ourselves in a brand new house that we couldn't afford, and my husband wasn't making very much money at all. Luckily, I was working at the gym, and we were struggling to make ends meet. It was a really hard time for us, and that was the time I was first introduced to this exercise. And I did exactly what you just did and spent 20 minutes and created this vision of what I wanted. Now, a couple of years ago, when I was preparing a class similar to this recording, I pulled out some old material and stumbled across that, and as I read it was really humbling, because every single thing that I had written had come true, and I hadn't even looked at that in years. But guess what? I created an image in my mind, and my mind is so powerful that I was able to subconsciously and consciously make choices to make that come true. So take that paper that you just wrote on, look at it a few more times, set it aside, and maybe come back to it in a couple years, and I bet you'll be surprised to see that you've achieved most of the things on there. So now that we have that direction in our life, we're ready to create our vision board. So thinking about what you just wrote and kind of what's important to you in your life and that you create, we're going to make a vision board. Now, you just need a couple of supplies for a vision board. You either need a poster board or tape. So if you've got one of those 2 things, you're good to go. If not, those are very easily obtainable. When I talk about tape, I'm talking about masking tape or painter's tape. So you're going to hang your vision board on your wall by your bed, or you can tape off a rectangle space and you can put the things from your vision board in there. There's just one rule when it comes to this, and that is that there's no spaces or gaps. So if you're using tape, just make sure you have borders or edges. If you're using a poster board, those are already going to have edges or borders. So now we're going to place 9 things on our vision board. 3 things that are free, 3 things that cost a little bit of money but are easily obtainable, and 3 things that seem totally outlandish. So I have here today, so I can show you and demonstrate. This is a whiteboard, okay? So this whiteboard is going to represent our vision board, and we're going to have 9 different sections or 9 different areas on this board. And what we can do is you can actually divide up the board, and you say this is your poster board, you can just divide it into 9 spaces. So I'm going to divide it into thirds this way, and then in thirds across this way. Or you can get note cards, and you can actually put things on your note cards, 9 note cards, and place them in the board in this different area, okay? So once you've got these different sections on your board, you're ready to go. And you're going to use pictures, words, lots of colors to create a vision board. So you can actually see behind me my husband's work vision board on the wall over by his desk back there, and you can see that he has some pictures on his vision board. Now pictures are great, but they shouldn't be touching, and you can see how he has 3 across the top, 3 across the midsection, and 3 across the bottom. And what these are words or pictures or phrases that's going to create an image in your head of what it is that you want. So, for example, right now I have on my vision board a new Yukon, and what I did was I actually went to GMC's website, and they have a virtual website where you can create the Yukon you want. I created the Yukon I wanted. It showed a little picture of it at the end. I printed it off, and that is on my vision board with new car by it. Okay, so that would be something that seems a little outlandish to me, because my goal is to pay cash for it. But let me tell you about outlandish things and coming true. So this was one of my very first experiences with a vision board. Was very, very powerful. And it was that our family created a vision board, and we decided we wanted a horse. And we put a horse on our vision board. And within a week we had a free horse. Now, did I mention I live in a subdivision? Well, here's what happened. We put a horse on our vision board. All of our kids were there. They went to school the next day. A teacher at the school was moving and was giving away a colt that she had a horse. She had to move suddenly, didn't have room for it, wasn't trained, she didn't really want to sell it. She just wanted to give it to a family that had enough room for it. So my kids came home, and they had told me that they told this teacher they were interested in the horse, and I thought, well, you know, I was kind of thinking long term. We live in a subdivision, but I didn't want to limit them, and I wanted to prove to them that vision boards work. So we got creative, and we found a place where we could keep this horse for free. We had an exchange, and so we got the horse, we boarded it for free, and we had a horse within a week, a free horse. So things really can be possible when you place them on your vision board. Now, how do you use your vision board? Well, as you can see, my husband's work one is posted by his desk. He also has a personal one up by his bed, as do I, and I have a work one posted by my desk right here too. And what you want to do is you're going to post your personal one up by your bed, and every night before you go to bed, you're going to look at the things that are on your vision board. You're going to spend 2 to 3 minutes just looking at your vision board. Then you're going to go to sleep, and you're going to let your subconscious work all night. Now, right by your bed, you want a notebook, because when you wake up in the morning, you're going to look at your vision board again, and then you're going to write down all the ideas that come to your mind. And it's so amazing, as I've done this, so many ideas have come to my mind that never would have crossed my mind otherwise. Ways to make things happen and things come true. And I will tell you, it has been spectacular. The things that have come off my vision board, amazing. As things come off your vision board, take them off your vision board and put them in a binder or some place where you can keep them and prove to your mind all the things that it can accomplish when you put your mind to something. Now, a frequent question I get is there a specific order? No. You place the free things randomly, place the paid things randomly, place the outlandish things randomly, and then notice what is a hot spot on your vision board. If you've got a couple of free items that have come off up in the right upper hand corner, then move things around a little bit and try and put an outlandish thing up there and see if you can get that. And even as I say outlandish, start shifting that word in your mind. I use outlandish to begin with because that's a word most people can identify with. But as you put things on your vision board, start moving them from that outlandish place to that, wow, this could be possible place, okay? So things that maybe aren't as easily obtainable, or maybe things you don't see how you're going to get, but it'll be really fun to see how you're going to get them. So I know as you do this, you're going to have amazing success with your vision board. And then you'll have a more clear direction of some goals that you could set. So I gave you an example of the new Yukon that's on my vision board right now. Now, is my vision board a goal? No, it's not a goal. What it is a vision board. It's a vision of what I want. So I might set some goals like, I'm going to save $1,000 a month towards this new Yukon. And I'll think of creative ways to do that. Because that's an idea that came to my head after I looked at the vision board. Okay, and I'll get ideas like that. So that's the goal that will go along with that part of my vision board. But don't limit yourself with your goals either. So maybe I say I'm going to save $1,000 a month, but I'm not going to limit myself. If I happen to get a $5,000 or $10,000 bonus, I may look at that as a way to obtain that gift, as a gift to obtain that Yukon. So I don't need to limit myself to only $1,000 a month. I may get more. So the possibilities are endless. Have fun with your vision board. As part of your homework, please send us a picture of your vision board to familyfootreflexology@gmail.com. Now, if you've somehow stumbled across this video and you aren't part of our program, you can visit us at www.familyfootreflexology.com to learn more about our amazing programs. Hope everybody has a great day. This is Allison Larson. Bye.